Okay, hello there guys. Welcome again to another library management system development tutorial. Um, the last tutorial we finished what? We finished working with let me remember, what did we finish? Okay, displaying a queue and borrowing the books, right? So there are a few things remaining here, which are the backup restore, and there are other things that I forgot to do, like calculating fines. Before doing that, let's have a look here. Now, so far when the user is logging in, maybe for some reason the user want to cancel uh, the queue on a given document. Okay, so before I start anything, let us just uh, run this once, just to make sure how the user interface looks like. Okay. Oh, not this. No, not this project. I'm sorry. And yeah, it's this one, web application. And let's run that. And also, I didn't return the books, right? So this is one thing to do as well. Okay, so what do we have? We have Todd123 and go login. Okay, so here I have the book LOL, and what I need to do is to have a button at the very end here, which will tell me that I could cancel my request here. Okay, so let's work on that. Okay, so if you remember the steps we did last time, we click here, we say edit columns. Wonderful. And then let's go to the button field. Okay, and we will add one here, and it's the last one. Okay, that's wonderful. What do we have to do? This would be, the text would be cancel. Okay, yeah, and the style, we want to see buttons, not links. I suppose that's it. I will say okay. Okay, so far so good. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let us double click on this one. Okay. Well, selection index change. No, we will change this into row command. Oh, I forgot a few things here to do. Sorry about that. Okay, come on. Again, same stupid things. Okay, this control always loves changing its location. It has a mind of its own. Okay, so let's go to this one, the cancel button. And there should be a command, right? Button type, command name, bk cancel. Control C, copy that. So it's going to be bk cancel. I chose that for book cancel. Now, if e dot command name equals this guy, then okay. So now we need to get the row ID, dimension row ID equal e dot wait a second, command argument, right? So this argument, and now from that we will get the barcode ID, and using the barcode ID we will cancel the queue. Okay, so I don't think we have a method for canceling item in the queue based on the barcode, which means we will have to create one. So let's go to the library management system project, or the library project. Let's go to the queue class, and let's click somewhere here. Wonderful. Let's go down. Wonderful. And what do we have? We have this one, insert queue entry. Okay, we will have something very similar, but it will be remove the queue entry. Okay, so here it will be remove queue entry. We have the book barcode and what? We have the student ID. Okay, so this will get us, as you can see in this code, we will get the book ID from the barcode. Okay, and now yeah, now instead of inserting a value, we will do the following statement. Let me have a look here. Okay, so what we have here, dbms.commit, the last statement, dbms.execute SQL delete from queue where student ID equal at 0 and book ID equal at 1. Wait a second. So student ID, book ID. Love it. Okay, so before that, let's make sure that the column names are correct. So let me open this one. Okay, wonderful. Let's open the tables and let's open the queue table. We have student ID, we have book ID, and that's it. Okay, so this will remove the entry right away. Let us save this here. Let's go remove queue entry and copy the method name so that I won't forget it. So what happens here, we need to create a database management system object. Okay, wait a second, dimension barcode ID or barcode as string equal grid view 1 dot rows of row ID dot cells of, and I forgot the cell number, so I have to go back here. This is going to be 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so the sixth one dot text, we got the row ID, and yeah, we need to get the student ID. So dimension student obj as library management system student this student class, and student obj equals session of student. Wonderful. And what should happen next is something very simple. We just create the object for database management system. So dimension dbms as a new library management system dbms class, and what we should say here is dbms.openDatabase. Okay, and yeah, after that we have just to call the library management system queue class, remove queue entry. We need to pass dbms, we need to pass the barcode, and we need to pass student ID. Sorry, student object dot get student ID. There you go. And it is done. And finally, after everything get executed successfully, dbms.close database. And I suppose that's it. Now, what should we do? We need to do a few things here. Dimension result equal this. If result doesn't equal OK, then error message and exit sum. Okay, and if not, then error message exit sum. Whatever. So it should be something like this. Before I add the error messages, let's make sure that it works. So I'll have to save this, and then I will run this one here. In a few seconds. Okay, there we go. And we say Todd123 and login. Wonderful, and we click cancel, and it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, let's have refresh this one. I will sign out. Let's try this again. Dot 123, and it didn't work correctly. So there is a good chance that there was an error being triggered. Let's put a breakpoint over here, and let us click cancel. Cancel again, and the code didn't run at all. Yeah, I did something wrong. Let's run this again. Cancel. Okay, so what's the command name? pk cancel. Okay, that's great. So step over. The row ID is here. Wonderful. Step over, and what do we have? We have the barcode. Yes, 1 2 3. And we have to what? We have step over again. We got the session. Okay, step over. Open the database. What are the results? Oh, result is OK capital. Okay, so this is why it didn't work. The spelling of OK is my mistake. Sorry guys about that. And this run. No, there were errors. Let's double click this one. What's happening over here? Oh, I think I know what's going on. I have to stop this, and let's run this again. Yes. Okay, so I have to say Todd123 and go log in, and I will say cancel, and it didn't work again. So I suppose I'll have to put another breakpoint here and press cancel and step over. Okay, it worked fine. Now we will get into the method for removing. Yes. Book ID. So get book ID, blah blah blah. So what do we have? We have the book ID unknown. We have the barcode, and I will run this one. And we have the book ID. Yes, that's great. And let's go to this method. Data from queue where student ID and equal at 0, and yeah, student ID and the book ID are here, and I will run, and it seems that it works. Okay, so let's continue here. Okay, so I'm gonna click here. Oh, so as you can see, when I click it performed the process successfully, but the display was not refreshed even though we executed or clicked on sorry, the page was refreshed. So what we need to do here in that case, let's just break this one here. We just need to say simply what's the command? Sorry, it's very easy. I think it was, yeah, I think it was a grid view 1 data bind. Now what this method does, okay, it will instruct or tell the framework to you know, refresh its data. Okay, so let us save this for a second and let us run this again. Okay, so we have here Todd123 and login. Okay, so now we are gonna search for books, and I will request the book, this guy. Okay, so now I have this one. I'm gonna press cancel, and it's gone. Okay, wonderful. So this part is finished now. What we want to do to make the interface a little bit better is the part where books are you are requesting should all together be invisible, or files should all be invisible. This is easy. You could just place everything in a frame and set the visible property to false if you'd like to. Anyway, so we finished this one. What the next thing need to be the next thing that need to be done is okay. we should work on a other guys again. The recorder stopped, so let's continue. Okay, so yeah, yes. What do we have to do next? We have to define finds table, finds object. Okay, so now we need to well, okay. So what need to be done next is tap 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 tap. Okay, so what need to be done is two things. The student should have a way of returning the books, and we need the yeah, and also paying fines. Okay, yes. So let us start with this one. Let us work on returning the books. I didn't write the steps here for some reason. Sorry about that. So let us first work on returning books, and as for the fines, we will work on that later on. Okay. And sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry. This is the keyboard. Come on. Okay. Yes. So let us work on returning books first. Okay. So how do we do that? We will create a method. Okay. In our application, it will be the reverse of borrowing books. So this is the borrow class, right? We worked on the perform borrow method, and the perform borrow method, what did it do? It removed the item from the queue, and then it inserted a borrow entry, and then it updated the number of copies. All we have to do is now restore the number of copies and delete the record and from the borrow. Okay, so now I am gonna create a method. I will call it wait a second, let's call this method return borrowed book. So public shared function return borrowed book dbms, come on, as dbms class. Okay, this is very straightforward. And what do we have? We have student id as string, oops, string, come on. And we have to do what? We have book id as string, and commit as boolean. Yes, what do we have also? Yeah, and this should return as boolean. Okay, the other method I already put a commit, I didn't pass it as a parameter. Maybe I should do that, but anyway, our application is very small and it's not that complicated, so we can get away with something like that. Anyway, so now dba dbms.rollback and return false. Oops, return false. Okay, now return, this should be what? Boolean. Okay, so what should happen here? Well, we will have, where's this method? This command will be changed to be like this. Update book, set available books equal available books plus 1, where book ID equals something like that. Okay, so this is the first method, and second dbms dot execute delete from books where, oops, not books, but rather borrow. Let me show you the table. Let me remember actually. It's the student ID and book ID, data from borrow where student ID equal at 0 and book ID equal at 1. Okay, and I didn't take advantage of the notes and the status. Okay, so anyway, I had something in mind, but anyway, I'm kind of lazy now, so I want just to finish the application so that I could focus on other projects. Yeah, student ID, and there is a book ID. We got these two, and finally fcommit and dbapps. This should be boolean and dbms.comment. Okay, very easy, very straightforward. So we have return borrowed book. So let's save that. Okay, now we will need a method to display the list of books uh, okay, that is being borrowed by student, right? By a specific student. Load borrow student ID. Okay, where is that? I want to just full. No, not this method. So let me save. Where's the books class? Student class. Let's go to student class. Full. Yeah, something like that. I will use something like that to full the display. So let's go to borrow class. Let's go down here and let's add this method. Okay, I'm gonna change this. This one is to full DGV with what? Students and their borrowed books. Borrowed books. Okay, wonderful. So full DGV, which means full dedicated view with what? Student borrow student books. Okay. Before I continue, I'll have to construct the SQL statement. So what we have here, we have the borrow. Yes, we have the borrow, we have the books, and we have the students. So we have three tables. Nice in here. Yeah. Can I create an SQL? Let me say a new query. Okay. So I will create a new query. I will add the books. I will add the borrow, and I will add the students. And I'll close these. So the book ID is already linked here with the book ID over here. That's wonderful. We have student ID here, and now should be linked with the student ID over here. Okay, so what do we need? We need the book ID. We need the student ID, right? And the information being displayed is the book title, book author, publication year, yeah, the shelf number and barcode. And what also we need on the other hand is the student name, right? We need the student identification when we need the student year, contact information, email. We don't need the password or the login name. And let us run this. Hopefully it will work correctly. Yes, and it worked without a problem. So we have two books, student book title, and yeah, one borrowed by Michael, the other one by Todd. So we got these two students. Okay, so this SQL seems to be okay. What are we gonna do? We are gonna copy this method. Wonderful. And we could embed it inside our project or create or make it as part of more like a view here. So I'm gonna create a view. Okay, a view is more like a query. So add a new view, and I'll say close here, and this is the SQL statement. There you go. So I put this one here, and I'm gonna say save. It's gonna ask me to give a name for the view, and the name would be student books. Now this is not a real table, it's the result of combining multiple tables. Okay, so student books, I'm gonna say okay, and that's it. I'm gonna close this, close the second one. Okay, so now I'm gonna say select, where's that, star from student books, student books, D-E-N-T-T-N-T. So a view is more like a table, except that it's not actually a table. I mean, it looks like a table when you do its result, but it is a result of combining multiple other tables or views. Okay, so you don't insert into it anything. Yeah. So now let's work on that. So we have what? We have book ID. We have student. Wait a second. We have book ID. We have student ID. We have what? We have book title. We have book author. We have what? Publication year. Publication. Oops. Publication year. We have what? Shelf number. We have barcode. We have student name. We have student ident for identification, and student year, student contact. Oops, student contact. Okay, and we have student email. Student email. Okay, that's wonderful. So we got these, and now we have to give a friendly names. So book ID, student ID, title, author, year, shelf, barcode is the same, name, student name, student ID, then identification. Okay, student year, and contact information, and email. And okay, so this seems to be perfect. Now we will have to go and update the staff user interface of DGB with student books and the Pro class. Okay, so let us close this one. Collapse. Start up. Let's go to main window here. So we have what? We have data entry, we have shelves, books, and we have students. Yeah, and yeah. Yes, let me just remember how did I do that before continuing on. Okay, so we have what? We have dot 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go to books. Book delivered to student. Oh, so we select the book and yeah. And what need to be done here? We could use the same interface to just, uh, you know, um, well, instead of that, I will put a command for after the student that could be run right away for delivering books, returning books. Okay, so yeah, let's create another window. Return book. Add Windows Forms. It's gonna be what? Windows Forms. There's a dialog. I'm gonna call this return book. Love it. Yes, and Yeah, there's return book, no problem. Okay, so let's continue. Now I'm gonna click on the properties here. I'm gonna say this is return book. Good. Oops, not this one. It should be this. Okay, return book, no problem. Let's save that. And let's go to solution again. And now what we need to do is go to deliver book to student. I want to get this one here. I'm gonna copy this. This is gonna be a minimalistic interface. So I'll paste this one here. I'll go, oops, undock it. Good. Okay, now this one's good. Maybe this one need to be a little bit wide. So the window will be kind of this width. Yes, something like this. I put this one here and go, 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 go. Okay, so it's kind of big window here, as you can see. Yeah, display cannot fit it anyway. So this one's called data grid view. So what happens when this one get displayed, all the information is being displayed here for every student who borrowed something. Okay, so double click that. Well, what do we have? We have library management system dot borrow class dot full data grid view student books. And what do we have? We have dgv followed by main window dot dbms. Okay, what we need to do is to say if not this thing, then msg box enable let's say error while displaying borrow information followed by critical or okay only, as you can see, followed by error. And that's it. I'm gonna say me.dialog result equal cancel. It's as simple as that. Otherwise everything will run smoothly, I suppose. And let's go here. Oops, not this window. Let's go to this one. Double click on the cancel. Okay, this is the OK button. So if dgv.selected_rows.count equals 0, then exhaust sub the dimension student id as string equals dgv selected rows of 0 dot cells of student id dot value. Wonderful. And dimension book id as string equal dgv selected rows of 0 dot cells of book id. And now we will work on removing them. So if not library management system borrow class dot return borrowed book, there should be main window dot dbms. There you go. Followed by student id, followed by book id, followed by true. Then yeah, so just because I'm lazy, I'll just copy and paste. Error while returning books. Returning book. That's okay. And yeah, fix this up. Otherwise, you give an OK. So this should do it. Last thing to do is let's go to return book. Let's specify the display location for this window center screen. Good. And let's go save this and book deliver to student. I'm gonna return book here. Return book. Okay, so double click that. Dimension tmp as a new return book. Okay, and now if tmp.show dialog, then yeah, just copy this code which will display the book's information. Two other things I forgot to do is, well, where is that? Where's borrow class? Okay, so the book ID and student ID need to be invisible here. DGV columns of book ID dot visible equal false. Oops. Student ID visible equal false. Okay, let's run that. Okay, we have dot 1 2 3 go, and let's go to books, return a book. So you can see two copies of the book LOL. One is borrowed by Todd, and the other is by, where's the student name? Michael. Okay, so let's go to the one with Todd having. Okay, error while returning book. So let's have a look and see what did we do wrong. Right, return borrowed book. Okay. Oh, it worked, but the error is this method didn't return a true value. Return true. Let's run this. Wonderful. Let's go. Dot 1 2 3. Okay, we got this one. Return a book, and now you can see now Michael only is borrowing a book. I'm gonna say okay. And by the way, if I go and look at the books, I'll find that there's a total of 3 copies, 9 copies for this one. I think this I'll have to yeah, I'll have to fix this one. I think this is because of debug, an error happened here. What about this one? Oh, okay. Okay. This is because of debug or something like that. Okay, so we'll fix this in a second. Yeah. Let me close this. I want to show you that when we return the books, now if we go to the web interface and we enter Todd again, go over here, I'm gonna say Todd 1 2 3. Okay, you can see that there is no books registered for Todd. So now I will request the first one. Okay, and request the second one. So 2 books now are being requested. Okay, and let me sign out from Todd. Go here, and let's go. And now let us receive these books. Sorry. Let us go to this one. Now let's go to login with the staff member who is also Todd. And let us go to the books. These are the books. The first book, we will deliver this to the student. You can see here. I'm gonna say okay. Let me remove the breakpoint. Run. Remove the second breakpoint. Run. Yeah. And let's go. Book delivered to student. Okay, we already delivered that. Let's go to the second one. Book and deliver to student. And we will say okay. Now I will close this. I will go back to the user interface, web user interface, and just show you that now Toad is having these. Come on, okay. So we have Todd 1 2 3 login. So now books you have are these two. Again, we will stop this project, and now let us assume that Toad decided to go back and return these books. Okay, so what do we have? We have this staff member logs in. So now we will say return book. So you can see these 2 books are borrowed by Todd. So let us select this one, say okay, and return the other book here. Okay, no problem. I didn't add search feature or anything anyway, but I'm supposed to. Okay, so returning book is finished correctly. Now let us work on on the finds table, which is the last part of the system that requires a little bit of hard work. So let's go to the finds table. Where's the TV design? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We have student ID, book ID, finds detail, amount, and the status. Okay, so we'll have to work on that. Let me go to this one. Okay, let's close this. I'm gonna create a new table. Okay, let me see this. Student ID, book ID, find details. Okay, student ID. This is gonna be. Let's go to students. Let me display the properties. Numeric. Book ID. Also numeric. Sorry. This should be varchar, right? Yeah, I'm varchar. I think it was about 100, 200. I can't remember. Anyways, book ID. Properties. Yes, length 100. Okay. Now, one of the things here, one of my mistakes is I put student ID and book ID as primary keys. Now, this would have effect. No, it won't have any. Yeah, no, there's not a mistake. It's okay because book ID is part of it. Okay, so no problem. Okay, so never mind that. My mistake. So we have what? We have details. On varchar 1000, and after that, what do we have also? We have find amount and the status. Find amount numeric. Status on varchar 50. Okay, I think this will be okay. Let's choose these two columns. Oops, this one and this one. Right click on primary key. Okay, so student ID, book ID, and details, and save that. This is gonna be the finds table. I'm gonna say okay, right? Yes, and finally a little bit of progress that we could write here. And yeah, now we define the finds object. Let's go here, save this, and solution. Let's go here. Let us close these other windows. Okay, so we could focus more on other important stuff. Let's go to this one. Add a new class. This is gonna be find class. Find class. Okay. So now, yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of lazy things here. So yeah, also copying the same style. So public. Well, just to remember the names, open this one next to me. Okay, I can see them. Now, student private, student ID a string, private, book ID a string, private, details a string, and the private find amount as string. Okay, private status as string. Okay, now student ID, this is gonna be integer. The details book ID, this is gonna be decimal. Decimal is usually used. I think there's a currency data. No, it's decimal. Usually for numbers, you try to use decimals because it could store large amounts and stuff like that when it comes to money. But anyway, it is a simple system, so don't worry too much about it. Now the setters and getters. So public function. Oops, my mistake. Get student ID a string return student ID. I will not create the old members because I don't think I'm gonna need to update record. Okay, so let me continue here. Now, I will not create the old variables because I don't think I'm gonna need to load the object, update it, and then store it back. I will do this right away on the database. And second, I am not gonna do that because I am kind of lazy now. I just want to finish the application as fast as possible. So sorry about that. Okay, so now there is public. Actually, I can even ignore the setters and getters and make the members all public right away. But anyway, I'm trying to stick to the style with minimal, you know, violation of the coding. Okay, style here, book ID as string, and return book ID. Okay, public function, get details as string, return details, public function, get fine amount, oops, get fine amount as decimal, return fine amount, move a little bit, okay, and public function, get status as string, return status. Okay, so now we finish the getters, now we work on the setters. So there is a property, by the way, which allows you to do something like that. You could say public property, but anyway, I didn't use this style because I'm not sure that many are familiar with that. Okay, so anyway, maybe I should have used that at least to make you know that such a thing exists. Anyway, so we have public subset student ID, um, ID as long. This is gonna be student ID equals ID. Okay, public subset book ID and as string me dot book ID equal ID. And what do we have? We have public subset details DTL as string and me dot details equal DTL, and public subset fine amount AM as decimal, me dot fine amount equal AM. And but also the status, public sub set status st as string and me dot status, oops, status equal st. So we finished the setters and getters. Now we will create a method to insert into the database. So public function insert into dbms as dbms class, commit as boolean, oops, as boolean. Okay, so now what should we do? We should say just a try catch. If any error happens, dbms.rollback and return false. Here dimension c1 as new, oops, dbms.execute SQL, insert into what finds, open a bracket here. This is going to be student ID. We need book ID, we need details, we need fine amount, we need what status. As you can see, what am I doing now is the same things I did in the previous tutorials. Okay, there is not much of new stuff here. I'm just repeating the same things again and again. Okay, defining a table, creating objects that would get the value from the table or insert the values to the table and create the user interface and link them together. That's it. Not a big deal there. Okay. So here, what do we have? We have at 0, at 1, at 2 for details, at 3 for final amount, at 4. So these should be 5 fields, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now I need to pass the parameters. So me dot student ID, me dot book ID, me dot details, me dot find amount, me dot status. Oops, status. Okay, and if commit, then dbms dot commit. I love this. Okay, so you finish this. One important thing is that I didn't create differential integrity between, foreign keys between the tables. Also, because I'm lazy, I'm trying to do things a little bit quickly. Just want to finish this example. So just remember to make keys between these tables. Okay, so after that we finish the insert. We have to create the load, right? Okay, as for the files, we will not remove any file records. We will just change the status from unpaid into paid, and that's it. So there will be no delete. So now public function load from db, and we have dbms as dbms class. We have student stid as string, bkid as string, and we have what also? We have yeah, that's it, as boolean. Oops, this is boolean. Okay, and what do we have here? We have try catch dbms dot rollback turn false. Okay, dimension as string equal dbms dot create result set, and select star from finds where student id equals at 0 and book id equal at 1, stid bkid, and yeah, so if not dbms dot read and check and the file s, and dbms dot close result set s, dbms dot rollback and return false. If everything is fine, as return true. Just, and here what I need to do, I should say me dot student id equal dbm as get field get column value as followed by student id. Okay, book id details find amount status, book id details find amount status. Good. Book id details find amount status. That's it. So we finished the save and load. What we need to do next is what? We need to come on. Let me think about this for a second. Yes. Yay. Okay, we have student book ID details when amount status. Okay, before continuing, let me mark this. We finished what? We finished the funds table. Okay, add a new fine. Okay, we need to create a change fine status. Okay, so let's work on the change fine status. Okay, public function update, or let's say set fine status. This is gonna be shared function because I'm not gonna use the object itself. I'm kind of lazy. dbms as dbms class, stid as string, bkid as string, st status as string, com commit as boolean, boolean as boolean, try catch, dbms dot rollback and return false, dbms dot execute seql update finds set status equal at 0 where student id equals at 1 and book id equal at 2, status stid bkid. Okay, if commit, then dbms.commit return true. So we finished this one for changing the status of the fine. Okay, and display fines for staff. Okay, so now before displaying fines and all these things, we still have very few things here. We need to think about or explain how the fine calculation work. We need at some point to know if a book if the student need to pay fine for a given book. Okay, so if we go to the borrow table, I hope we have some data. Come on, dude. Okay, I don't have any data here, but anyway, so here we have the borrow date and return date. So what we could do is like, identify what kind of, let's say, uh, at some point we need to scan through all borrowed books and see any book that has not been returned. Okay, if the computer date is beyond the return date over here, okay, you would know that the student must pay a fine. So in that case, you will go to the fine here and you should check if, for example, if there is a record, a fine record, you will update the amount. Otherwise, if there is no such record, you will create a new one. Okay, so based on that, we will create a method that will scan all the borrowed books, okay, that has not been returned. Okay, and yeah, and we'll create fines or update the fines record for the students. Okay, this is what we are gonna do. Okay, so let us save this. Now, there is one important point here is when you want to do that, when would that method get executed? Okay, well, you could make this method execute using a service, Windows service, and that Windows service could execute once a day, or you could link that with the login process. Okay, I'm gonna stop this for a second. Okay, so continuing our tutorial here. Now, so I was saying that we should figure out when to execute the method that will calculate the fines. Why? Because this method, the calculation need to be done once a day. Okay, so you could link this with many events. For example, you could link it with the student login. We could link it with the administrator login or staff member login. Now, the second thing is what happens if the user logs in multiple times? Do you execute the calculation again multiple times? Well, the answer is no, you don't do that. We can do a simple trick that will help us avoid such scenario. What we could do is create a simple variable. Okay, we have this vars table. Let me just show you the table data here, and we could store one variable in it, which is called, for example, calculation date. Okay, or let's say calculation. And if the number or the date is here is smaller than, let's say, smaller than uh, the current computer date, So this means a calculation have not been done. Otherwise, the calculation need to be updated. So based on that, this is a very simple trick, and it could be done very easily. So, given that we will work with, given that idea, we will work on it. So I'm going to create this method, public shared function, and calculate fines for all students. dbms as dbms class. Okay, and commit, sorry, as boolean, oops. Okay, and of course there's try catch and dbms.rollback and return false. Okay, this is very easy, very straightforward. Now, what should be done here? The first thing is to get the variable from the vars table. Okay. Uh, did I create a method for getting dbms class? I'm not sure. Okay. So whatever. I will do this manually here. Okay. So now what am I gonna do? I'm gonna say if wait a second. First, I will have to load the var from here. So dimension as string equal dbms dot create result set, and this is gonna be easy. Select star from vars where var name equals at 0. This is gonna be called calc for calculation. Very easy, very straightforward. Now if dbms dot read and check not end of file as, then else. And finally dbms dot close result set as. Very easy, very straightforward. Okay, so here I will have to say dimension last calc as string equals nothing. So if there is a record, then last calc equal dbms get column value as followed by var value. Otherwise, we are gonna insert a new record and start calculating from today. So what are we gonna do is say this dbms dot execute SQL insert into vars okay at var name no need for that, values at 0 at 1. Now I'm gonna call this what? Calc. Call the variable calc, something like that, right? And the value, it will be format. I'll make it yesterday's calculation, right? Now dot add days -1. This should be what? Format followed by what? Okay, and what do we have? Yeah, something like this. Okay, and then last calc equals again the same statement. Now what should we do next is check the current date. Dimension current calc as string equals format, and it will be something like this. Now we would say if current calc equals last calc, then return true. Now this is very straightforward. We are checking this part. Wait a second. This part will be doing the following. It will get the last calculations date. Okay, if it doesn't find a record for the last calculation, it will create one. Now we check the current date. Now this will get us today's date. And now we will check if the current date is not the last calculation date, then we entered a new day. So otherwise it means we already made the calculation, so we return true to indicate that no calculations are needed. Now we go into the actual work. Okay, so now we will start looping on the finds table. Start looping on the finds table. Not the finds table, sorry, on the borrow table. On borrow table. Right, so where is the borrow? This is the borrow table. Okay, so s equal dbms dot create result set, select star from borrow, and that's it. And do while dbms read and check out in the file s dbms dot close result set s. Okay, dimension tmp as a new borrow class. Maybe I'll put this one here. Okay, so that we don't create the object every time, but anyway. So now if not tmp dot load by student id and book id, yeah, wait a second, dimension stid as string. Let me just put this one, student id, book id, dbms get column value as followed by student id. bkid and book id. Okay, so we got these two IDs, and from these two we will get the object. If not, tmp.load dbms stid bkid, then dbms.closeResultSet as dbms.rollback as false. Okay, so now we finished this one. So now we loaded the borrow information. Now, if the return date is after the current date, this means we need to calculate find. So if tmp.return where is that? tmp read borrow class get return date is greater than, is smaller than current calculation date, then this means update the finds calculated for the student. Now how do we update them? Okay, so this is gonna be simple. We just need to find the difference between these two, right? Between these two dates. Now the problem is the format of this one is not an exact date and this one is not an exact date, so I'll have to investigate these. How did I start the return date? Let me just check this out in a second. Okay, just to let me see here. I'll have to go to, where's the library? Okay, just a second, just to make sure I'm storing everything correctly. Come on. Okay, there's gonna be Todd123 and login. Good. Search box, I'm gonna request this one. Search box, and I'm gonna request this one. That's nice. Close and stop, and let's go to the other project and run this, and there's gonna be Todd123, and let's go to books and deliver to student. Okay, select the second book, deliver to student. Okay, close. Okay, that's it. Now let's go to the borrow table and show table data. Maybe I need to execute this again. Okay, so check out the format. The format is as follows. It's 4 digits for the year, 2 digits for month, 2 digits for the day, and we need to work on that. Okay, we need to work on that. Also, I'm gonna make this a little bit different, so I'm gonna make it so that one of these would cause a fine. Okay, so let me go to okay, let's go here. So first thing, we need to convert this one's format and this one's into dates. So dimension dt uh, dimension dt1 as a new date, and this one needs to get yeah, year month. Okay, never mind. Dimension y1 a string equals tmp get date substring 04 dimension m1 a string equal tmp get return date substring is going to be 52, and dimension d1 a string equal tmp get return date substring is going to be 82. Okay, so basically we start at location 0, we get 5 digits for the year, then we skip the minus sign, so we go to location 5, we take the 2 digits for the month, and so on. And very similarly to this, we will use the y2, oops, m2, and d2. We get these, and this time instead of this we will use what? Calc. Right, current calc, current calculation, and current calculation. Okay, and now we will create dimension dt1 as a new date, and we need to specify y1 d1 m1 d1. Okay, so we got this one, dimension dt2 as a new date, y2 m2 d. Okay, so continuing here, now we need to calculate the difference in days. So dimension days diff equals d2 dt2 dot minus dt1. Okay, I'm not sure. I think subtractance days. Okay, add hours. Where's add days? Days. Never mind. Okay, I will have to investigate this one because this could cause a problem, because right now I don't know if the difference here is what in days or what. So I'll have to check this out. Times, yeah, this is a time span. Day diff dot what? Uh, days. Yes, okay, so I think this would get us the number of days. Dimension fine uh, as decimal equals data. Okay, so here I'm gonna get the number of days and multiply this by, let's say the fine per day is, let's say, $1. So if you are late by 1 day, yeah, something like that. Okay, so now this is the day. Now there are two things here. Uh, we could, for example, update the existing record, or we could remove the existing record and insert a new one. I'm gonna remove the existing final record and insert a new one because it will also work fine with the method where we just you know um, where we yeah uh, it could also work fine with other methods. um, when there is no record, this technique would work well. Okay, you'll understand what I'm doing. Sorry, I think I got confused. I'm sorry about that. dbms.execute SQL. I'm gonna say delete from uh, finds where student ID equals at 0 and book ID equals at 1. Okay, so no problem there, very straightforward. And here there's going to be stid, dkid. And now we will insert the new record. dbms.execute insert into finds student ID, book ID, details, fine amount, status. Why did I use details? I don't have to specify any details. But anyway, fine amount and status. Okay, that's wonderful. And yeah, values. Let me see. There's add 0, add 1, add 2, add 3, and add 4. Okay, so now we have to specify stid, bkid, and now the details. Yeah, uh, overdue. Okay, and this one, the fine amount, I'm gonna say fine, and the next one is gonna be what? Status. I'm gonna say unpaid. Okay, there's a paid and unpaid status, and yeah, this is all to it. Now, after you finish this one, you need to update the record dbms.execute SQL delete from vars. Or actually, you could make an update vars set uh, var value equal at 0 uh, where var name equal at 1 var wait a second, uh, current calc, and what's the other one? Var name. Var name is gonna be what? Calc. Okay, and finally, after all this being done, fcommit in dbms.commit and return true. How nice is this? Okay, what about the commit? Commit should be boolean. I think I messed up with in here. Yes, boolean. Okay, so now I will make this get executed when the user first logs in into the system. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. Copy. You could create a Windows service that will do this for you, and it will check, for example, once a day or something like that. Okay, but since I'm a lazy person, this main window, yes. So it's gonna open the database and whatever. Yes. Okay. If not, uh, library management system dot find class calculate finds for student dbms followed by true, then msg box. I'm gonna copy these two. I'm gonna say error while calculating fines. Calculating fines. Error. Okay, that's wonderful. So I'll put a breakpoint here and I will save and let us debug and see are the fines being calculated here. And let us run. Go. Okay, so now dot 1, 2, 3, go. Wonderful. And now step into that. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So there is no such record. It's gonna create a new record here for the calculation, and last calculation is here. It's today. Okay. Let's go continue. That's yesterday actually. Okay. So let us get the current calculation date. Yes, 24. Now you can see that these two numbers doesn't match, so it assumes the last calculation was yesterday. So which means we will continue running now. So now select student ID, book ID from borrow, and I got an error. Student, okay, the very first error here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, student ID. Yes. Okay. Now step into, and again, blah 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 blah. Oops. Let me stop this. I'm done this again. Sorry. Okay. Step into. Okay. Current calculation. Last calculation. Whatever. Yeah. Student ID. Okay. Read. Okay. You can see here. So now we are gonna get the record here. Student ID, book ID. These two. 25 and whatever. Okay. So we got the borrow record here. We will get the return date and the return date and the other date. So okay, now we will generate the actual date. So you can see DT1 is the 10th. Okay, wait a second. This is Y1 10. Yeah. What's this one? Oh, this is, I think this is the American format. So it's the month followed by the day and so on. Yeah. So the day difference here is yeah. So it 23 days, right? So the days difference 23 multiplied by $1 fine per day, and yeah, we will delete that and we will insert the fine, no problem. And we will continue on the second fine or a second borrow, and we will check and see it didn't generate any fine because it's still within the acceptable date range, and this one get updated and this is committed and everything seems to be running well. So the fines now are being are calculated correctly, I think. And if we show ourselves the table, you can see, check this out. So we have the student with ID 25. He is supposed to pay a fine of 23 and the status is unpaid. Okay, so now this is about calculating fines. Let's go here. Yeah, we will need to do what? Yes, I am gonna create the user interface for paying the fines, and to do that I will create another view here. So I'm gonna say add a new view. I will add the books table, the fines table, and the student table, and close these. and there's student linked to a student, blah blah blah. Okay, that's great. And yeah, so we have to add the book title, okay, and the barcode of the book, okay, and I will have to add the student ID in here because it's going to be filtered on the student ID, and I will have to add the details, the fine amount, what about the status? The status. Okay, so status unpaid, blah blah blah. Okay, that seems to be good. Let me just run. Is there a way to run this? I think I don't need to. Yeah, I'm gonna say student fines. Student fines. Okay, so this is a view student fines. I'm gonna say okay here. Wonderful. So now this other thing I'm gonna do today is just displaying the fines, and next time we'll see how to pay the fines back. And yeah. So library management system. Okay, let me go to this guy. This guy. Yeah. Let's go to LMS web. Set a startup project. By the way, I am depending on the time on the client computer, so on the date on the client computer. So if the date at the client is wrong, this could cause a problem in calculating fines. So you might want to use the database time instead. Regardless, let's go here. Let's go here. Wonderful. And let's go here. These are the fines. I'm gonna click in here. You already know this step. It's very easy for you guys now, I suppose. So we drag and drop here. We change the format, choose the colorful one, and you say new data source. Okay, wonderful. It's gonna be database. Uh, the data source ID 3. This is the third one on this page. I'm going to say okay, wonderful. The same connection. I like this. I'm going to say next. Instead of this, I'm going to use the views student fines. There we go. I'm going to use all the fields I want except the student ID. Yes, okay, all these. I'm going to say next. I'm gonna test the query is gonna work, I suppose. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm gonna say finish. Come on, my friend. Okay, that's wonderful. Let's go down, click here, display the properties, change the SQL query. I will just add where student ID equals at st, add a parameter. There's going to be st. The source is what? Session. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so we specify the session, and this is going to be student ID. Yeah, we already have this variable in this session, so no problem. And we hit OK, and then we click on this one. We're gonna say edit columns. Okay, not much here to be done. I'm gonna say book title, barcode details. This is gonna be the amount. I'm gonna say amount to due. Okay, that's it. And hit OK. Please don't change location. Okay, seems it worked. So we'll save this. And now let us just run the web and see if Todd is supposed to pay a fine now. So here, Todd 123. The important thing about this, you can see fines, and he's supposed to pay $23. Wonderful, right? Yeah. So it's very easy. The web application is not really that hard, as you can see. It's very much straightforward. Okay, it's just a matter of small things to keep track of. Okay, so I think we finished display, search fine, pay fines, web display fines. Wait a second. Yes. So it seems to be that we have to finish these three other items for paying fines back and searching. I don't think we even need these. Okay, it's very easy. I think. I mean the search. I'm gonna ignore it. I think. And also, what do we need to finish? Oh, the backup restore and what? The setup for the web app. Okay, let's go up. So we finished about 80% of the project. Okay, so I think that's it. This kind of a very long video. Okay, so um, yeah, that's kind of taking time. If you want to find the updated source code, you just visit the website mksoft.com. And thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.